The Tennessee Titans were obviously the worst team in the 2024 season, and the biggest need on their team just so happens to be quarterback. So this sounds like a great situation. Number 1 pick, go get our QB of the future, hopefully a top 5 to 10 guy. However, this just happens to be the worst quarterback class of the last few years at least. And I mean, there are some massive issues with this team. I'll get into some of that in a second, but just real fast, I'm gonna make this like the shortest intro ever. But if y'all enjoy, be sure to leave a like on the video. Sounds weird, but it really helps out the channel. And let's see if this video can get to 2,500 likes. I feel like that's a fair goal. It'll let me know y'all want to see a Jaguars rebuild. That's the one team out of the top 5 picks that I haven't done a rebuild of post free agency. So 2,500 likes and I'll do a rebuild with one of the top 5 projected players. And then also be sure to subscribe if you like rebuilds, because that's all I do on the channel. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun stuff coming up soon. And you'll be an OG of the channel for when we hit 100,000 subscribers. And then very last thing, I haven't given a shout out in a little bit, so I'll say shout out to that guy for suggesting this. But be sure to let me know any fun ideas y'all have down in the comments. I'll give you a shout out if I do it. But all right, without further ado, let's finally get into this. Now, this is a rebuild I have done already, but that was before free agency. This is a team that had an interesting offseason. I at least like a couple of the moves they made. Kevin Zeitler, he's old, but still very good. One of the better guards in the league. And you know, they had some minor-ish signings like Xavier Woods, Draymond Jones. Now, I'm sure it is hard to convince players to join the team when you were the worst in the NFL last year, but I am shocked this team did absolutely nothing at receiver. I mean, they added Van Jefferson, James Prochet, someone I haven't thought of in forever, and they paid Dan Moore over 20 mil per year to be their left tackle. Dan Moore. So pretty safe to say this wasn't my favorite offseason for any team, but to be fair and to be more positive, we at least do have some exciting pieces for the future, at least hopefully. You know, I've been waiting for Peter Skoronski to take a big step. JC Latham was a high pick last year that I didn't love, but he was okay. This D-line is really good. Tavondre Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons. Hopefully L'Jarius Sneed can stay healthy and actually play well, but man, it's even kind of hard to force positivity about this team. So this might be a tough one. Get a drink, get a snack, get whatever. Get your Will Levis body pillows, and we'll have to see what we can do for this team. But all right, in the draft, we already know what we're going to do with this first overall pick. Also, the Lions have a top 5 pick for some reason. Madden just really doesn't like the Lions for some reason. They're always terrible. But I mean, let's take Cam Ward, Washington State legend, obviously. But of course, hidden dev, I think I have him at a 75 overall, so pretty good. My concern with the Titans taking Cam Ward isn't necessarily with Cam Ward. I think he's good, but like I said earlier, it's throwing him into a pretty horrible situation. So for the rest of this draft, I am gonna focus almost completely on offense. I'm gonna spend 1 pick on defense. The problem with the Titans, though, is they don't have a 3rd round pick. That is where I would take either an edge rusher or a receiver. Like, I would be fine doing it either in the 2nd or 3rd rounds, but with 2nd and 4th, that makes it a little tougher. But we'll get to our next pick, 3rd in the 2nd round. Let's see, Jaden Higgins is still here, Trey Harris, and how about pass rushers? Okay, Braden Swinson is still here. Josiah Stewart, for some reason, Jalen Walker is still available. That's just not realistic. I'm not gonna do that. Jack Sawyer still here. I like him a lot. Man, I just said I want to invest as much as I can into this offense to help Cam Ward, but I don't think I'm gonna do that with our 2nd round pick. I'll probably take a receiver with both 4th round picks to make up for it, but I'm gonna go with Josiah Stewart. We'll go Josiah Stewart. Little bit undersized for sure, but I mean, he can play. Definitely one of my sleepers this year. Not a deep sleeper, still probably going to be a day 2 pick, but I think he's very good. And now in round 4, what receivers are still here? Okay, it's not great. Jalen Knoll is still here. I would be fine with that. Jack Besh, he's kind of slow. I'll go Jalen Knoll. I just drafted him in a recent rebuild, but we didn't really end up using him. He'll be like our wide receiver 3 here over Van Jefferson. And then last pick I'll show, should we go Torrey Horton? He's 23. How about Ty Felton? I didn't realize I had a 3rd to 4th round grade on him. I don't know if I like him that much, but sure. But all right, here's a look at the team heading into year 1. I would say we improved it through the draft, definitely. unfortunately. Added quite a few starters. Obviously, Cam Ward, like I said, 75 overall. Didn't develop throughout the preseason, but should develop a lot throughout the year, I hope. But let's see, what else did I do in the draft? I drafted Logan Brown as just a good backup lineman. Sean Dolak, I mean, he could be a starter. It's either Otis Reese, Cedric Gray, or Sean Dolak. Let's start Sean Dolak. He has hidden dev like every player in my draft classes do. We'll see what we can do there. But let's see, other than that, it is just the Titans. Jeffrey Simmons got X Factor in the simulation year though, so that's something. That's cool. But all right, enough yapping. We're probably gonna be horrible this year, so don't expect much. I would be willing to bet we're not gonna be great though. This is one of the rare times I'm pretty confident about that. I just know neither of these running backs do well in Madden, unfortunately, but we'll see. But okay, I always say this, so it's gonna sound like I'm lying, but I knew we were gonna be 2-5. I should have predicted it. Not that it really matters, but I knew we were gonna be 2-5. We actually have a pretty good pass D, and not a bad passing game. Not even a bad run game. I mean, it's not good, but 22nd, I thought it would be 32nd. Honestly, our numbers are not necessarily better than 2-5, but I've had teams that are 5-2 with worse stats. Let's see what's happening. Not that we're gonna make any changes here. I definitely want to tank. Although, Cam Ward not doing the best so far. 11 touchdowns to 10 picks. 62 completion percentage is really bad for Madden. That's like 52 for real life. Pollard stinking it up like I projected. Dan Moore not doing as bad as I thought. Like, I'm surprised by how not bad our numbers are. Jarvis Brownlee, 2 picks, 6 sacks for Simmons, 3.5 for Stewart. Nothing amazing, but I thought it was gonna be worse looking. But all right, I'm curious to see who we're gonna have to re-sign this year. Amani Hooker, Roger McCreary, Chigo Okonkwo, Arden Key, Cody Barton, Draymond Jones. Okay, just a lot of like some good starters, but a lot of mid, to be blunt. Like, just okay, Dan Moore should be on a longer deal, but everyone else, I think these are contracts that will expire. But Amani Hooker, I mean, one of the few good players on defense here. I'll go 4 years, 42. Roger McCreary, I'm sure he's not too expensive. Yeah, 5, that's a long deal, but 5 years, 33. That's like the Isaac Yadam contract, like 3 years, 9 mil. Just a weird deal. But Chigo Okonkwo, I'll bring him back. He's been a little disappointing to me. I thought he would be a really good player, but he's been okay. I think he's about worth 3 years, 24. Oh, he doesn't take it, but that's probably about what he would get. If we don't get him back, I mean, that's not the end of the world. Arden Key has 1 sack on the year, I'm pretty sure, so I'm probably good. Everyone else we'll see at the end of the year, but I will change Dan Moore's deal. But all right, like I said, I'm hoping for a good draft pick this year. We desperately need it, so let's hope we suck, but I feel like we're gonna bounce back and be mid, unfortunately. That's like the worst thing that could happen to us. That would make this even harder, but we'll see what happens. But okay, we end up going 6-11. I guess I'll take that. That's, at least we weren't any better. I was hoping we would be even worse, but that's fine. Cam Ward, interesting rookie year. Only sacked 18 times? What? So maybe the Dan Moore deal wasn't bad. I've been kind of critical on what they've done with their O-line. Not that I would know better than, you know, their coaching staff, but they had a pretty horrible O-line last year, and I thought, you know, they had the players for it to at least be decent. I felt like they were just playing their guys in weird spot. Like, I thought Radins would have been a better tackle than guard. I thought Brunskill would have been a fine starting guard, but instead they put Nicholas Petit-Frere out there for some reason. At least it's better now, but I don't really think Dan Moore is their solution, but it was here, or he was here. Also, Peter Skoronski allowed 0 sacks from left guard. That's wild. But Tony Pollard, pretty bad. Jalen Knoll almost hit 1,200 yards though, 12 touchdowns. I mean, I think he'll be a good player, but I don't know about that good as a rookie. So, I mean, I think we might even possibly have our future wide receiver 1 in the 4th round. But Ridley almost 1,000 yards, not really. Felton was fine. But on defense, Barton 106 tackles led the team, 17 TFLs for Sweat led the team. But sacks were kind of an issue. 9 for Simmons, that's good. 5.5 for Stewart. I mean, he was on pace for a lot better than that. 3.5 for Arden Key. Cody Barton almost had as many as a blitzer. But picks 3 for Snead, 2 for McCreary and Brownlee, and then 1 for a few players. See, those were kind of the numbers I expected for the first half of the year. Other than Noel in the O-line. But Josh Allen wins MVP here. Derek Carr at number 5. All right. Aaron Rodgers got signed by the Colts. I'm surprised he didn't retire, but sure. Let's see. Lamar wins Offensive Player of the Year. It always goes to a quarterback in Madden. Madden. Deontay Johnson always gets signed by the Bengals and does very well, does better than, oh, I don't know, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Like, what is this game, man? But Max Crosby wins Defensive Player of the Year. I swear we have had probably this exact order for awards probably 5 times in rebuilds before, or something very similar. But Jalen Noel does win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Cam Ward at 4, Ty Felton at 5. You know, if I had to be picky, I wish Ward won it, but I mean, it's not like I expected that. But Trey Amos wins Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Jets. That's interesting. Stewart at number 3. I thought he was on pace to win it, but only had 2 sacks in the last 10 games. Sean Dolek at number 5. So I would definitely call this a success. Also, we were 7th for defensive yards. I'm kind of impressed, even though we only went 6 and 11. Just our offense was one of the worst, even though it statistically looked pretty decent. So really interesting first year. This seems fixable though. I feel a lot more optimistic after this first year. So let's get into the offseason once again. Oh yeah, Cam Ward has superstar dev, by the way. But let's see what we can do in the offseason. I feel like this is going to be a really weird Super Bowl. Let's see. Never mind. Okay, well, it was a weird score. 14-10. The Eagles, or no, the Bills beat the Eagles, it looks like. Yeah. Ed Oliver, Super Bowl MVP. Man, he was supposed to be like the next great defensive tackle. He's like a pretty good player, but I don't know, not quite the next Aaron Donald or whatever people compared him to. I thought we were going to get like a Colts Falcons Super Bowl or something. I don't even know if both of those teams were in the playoffs, but I think they were. I saw both of their QBs up there for MVP, so probably. Also, wait, the Raiders went 11-6 and the Chargers went 13-4 and the Broncos only went 5-12. This was sometimes year 1 in Madden is kind of normal, but it really wasn't here other than the Super Bowl. But all right, for re-signings, we'll pick up the 5th year for Skoronski. I'm surprised he didn't win Best O lineman. It probably went to a backup offensive lineman. I want to see who it went to, actually. Who won it? I don't know what their parameters for winning it are. Oh, I can't check it anymore. I don't know, but sometimes it gives it to backup linemen. Maybe it's if you play like 100 snaps or something and you allow 0 sacks. Did it go to Dick? Okay, it went to Landon Dickerson, it looks like, for the NFC. So maybe it went to a normal player here. Dalton Reisner allowed 0 sacks. He didn't win it though. I don't know. Let's get into free agency. Oh wait, I almost forgot about the free agents. We'll pick up the 5th year for Skoronski. We'll re-sign Okonkwo if he wants to. We have Josh Wiley. I think that's how you say it, Wiley. He's fine. Not too much of a downgrade. I'll go 3 years, 27. He does take it. Okay, I'm fine with that. Keed, not with his 3.5 sacks. Barton isn't interested. Traylon Burks. Man, I really thought he was going to be good. Mostly just injuries. He did look pretty good as a rookie, to be fair. Just injuries are tough. I definitely don't think they'll bring him back. But all right, in free agency, doesn't really help us out that much. I would sign Khalil Shakir, but I don't think he should be here. He got an extension from the Bills that isn't in Madden, so not really realistic. The only thing I would look for is maybe a running back, but I wouldn't really want Brian Robinson. I like what we did in the draft. I'm fine just developing the players we have and waiting for a better free agent class. We could sign someone like Elijah Vera Tucker, but like our O-line was so good, even though it probably shouldn't have been. But Jalen Noel got superstar dev. That's cool. I would maybe sign a receiver. Ooh, how much would releasing Calvin Ridley? I almost called him Riley Ridley. Shout out if you remember him. I think his brother. He is 31. He regressed. That would save 16 mil. I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? Like, he's a good player still. I don't think he's as good as he was for the Falcons, but to be fair, he's been on some pretty not great teams, so who knows? So now that creates a hole at receiver. Maybe we should sign someone. I mean, there really just isn't anyone I want. I get Jalen Coker for too many rebuilds. Same with Jamison Williams, but he is interested, surprisingly. Could we get him? We can. Is that the most realistic move ever? Probably not, but I mean, if he's interested, he's interested. Oh, and you know what? Okay, he is actually slowing down. Sometimes Khalil Mack is just the best player to ever live in Madden, but not so much here. I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but he does pretty well. I mean, he got 15 sacks in simulation 1 year, so pretty good, but only 5.5 this past year. Ooh, I would sign Trenton Simpson, not interested, but we do get the lead for him. Okay, we're doing something. We're doing more than I expected. Jamison Williams, Trenton Simpson, both going from pretty good teams to the Titans, so that's unlucky for them if they sign with us, but that's their choice, so no one to blame but them. They both do sign. I mean, I went from not doing anything to 2 pretty good additions. We'll take it. The only thing that's a little complicated complicated with Jameson Williams is I did focus scout receiver. That was my focus position. But I mean, we could still draft one. Or that was my 2-star focus position. I'll show my 3-star once we get to the draft. But all right, we pick at number 5. That's about what I expected. We'll take that. Top 5 pick. The Vikings had the number 1 pick. I feel like that happens. Sometimes they're one of the best teams. Sometimes they're the worst. I don't know why. Trevor Etienne is their starting running back here. Is it bad that I don't remember who their starting running back is? Oh yeah, almost said Dalvin Cook. Not anymore. Aaron Jones. So he must have retired or got old and bad, so they released him. I don't know how they were this bad though. Like, if they stay healthy, they could be a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Not could be, will be. I don't know if they'll stay healthy because that's an old and injury-prone team. At least the guys they signed in free agency, but we'll see. Oh, there goes Chris Britton. I didn't check if he's good, but oh yeah, I set our focus position as defensive end. There are some good ones, but first round run stopper, I would still take him. He's only 285. That would almost work at edge. That's still definitely big. No, he's not a good pass rusher. Okay, never mind. What's the point of even being 285 then? Just bulk up to like 315. I don't know. But Javier Blackburn looks pretty good. And then I focus scouted Barker and Hargrove. They're both good. So, I mean, there are 3 available. We should at least get 1, which will be a little bit of a reach, but I think it's worth it. I bet that Britton guy was really good though. The Browns go with a QB. The Jets go Hargrove. Okay. Oh no, I forgot to mention that JC Gills guy was really good. I don't know that we needed him now that we signed Jameson Williams, but he was a top 5 talent. I focus scouted Crawford. That's what my other one was. It was the 2 outside linebackers and then Crawford. But this doesn't look like a great receiver class, other than maybe the one I'm looking at right now, Chris Calhoun out of Stanford. Ooh, great change of direction, agility, acceleration. Might have to take him round 2. But all right, I guess we will go with Javier Blackburn. He's not a top 5 talent, obviously. Is he even good? Is he gonna be ranked like 22 or something? Man, maybe we should trade down. He's elite speed and acceleration, but like, that's kind of it. I would not guess he is a first round talent, just looking at these ratings alone. Like, you're a projected top 10 pick and you don't even have a finesse moves. I still might take him, but it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. I almost just want to take Sean Barker. I mean, at least he has better ratings, even though I know he's worse. Wait, he's a power rusher. Hold on. There might be something to that. Okay, I think our outside linebacker, or the rush end scheme is power, because Stewart's a 78 power rusher, and then he was a 78 at rush end. So, man, I really won't feel great about taking a first to second round talent with a top 5 pick, but I'm like, if I trade down, I don't really see anyone I want either. I'm just gonna take him. Sean Barker out of Michigan State. Okay, ranked 24. He's probably not much worse than the other guy. That's fine. Does have hidden dev. We'll take that. But all right, round 2. This should be a much easier decision, depending on who's still available. Okay, there's Connor Mason still. We just really do not need a defensive lineman at all. Could go with a corner. There are some pretty good looking ones. I might go with a safety though. Xavier Woods did regress a lot. Or wait, no, I was gonna take a receiver round 2, right? Yeah, Chris Calhoun, he looked really good. But those safeties also looked really good. Denzel Black, not the best pursuit. Ben Martin looks pretty good. And then both Jay Dixon and Darian Nixon look really good. And Will Harden looks pretty good. And Dante Wagner looks pretty good. Okay, let's take the receiver. There are a lot of good looking safeties. Chris Calhoun, let's take him. He is ranked 13, got him at 37. Hidden dev, great pick. But all right, should we go one of the safeties or should we go the D lineman? Definitely a safety, right? Which one though? Is Harden the best? Kind of looks like it. Either Harden or Buchanan. What's Buchanan's speed? Or any of the run stoppers? Oh, there's some run support safeties with good speed, great change of direction. Okay, hold on. I kind of like Dante Wagner. Or no, he only has B pursuit. Then I like Buchanan. Can we get both Buchanan and Harden? It doesn't look like it. Buchanan's already 23, but he looks better. All right, I'll go Buchanan. Ranked 16, got him at 69, so 3 for 3 on first round talents. Only normal dev, but he's a good player. You know what? While we're hot, let's keep making picks. Is there another good safety? Okay, maybe not anymore. Ladarius Ware has good pursuit. Darren Brownlee. Oh, great, another Brownlee. That wouldn't be confusing. He only has decent strength as a run support safety. Huh. All right, we might be done here. Oh, actually, Chase Jamison. He looks, maybe he's not good. I just saw a run stopper linebacker with B awareness, A play rec. That's usually what the like 75 overall run stopper outside linebackers are, but the rest of his ratings aren't that good. And we'll still take a chance though. He looks fine. Okay, maybe not. 111. It's a fine pick. Ooh, right back to almost a first round talent. Gregory Nelson, ranked 34, hidden dev running back. Ooh. Okay, I almost didn't make the rest of these picks, but I was like, you know what? Still felt like I was hot. Did we just find our starting running back? The only problem is he's already 23. We'll see. We'll see. But all right, here is how we did in the draft. It was okay. I mean, no, it was really good, but just the first pick not being the best. We knew what it was going to be, but it still doesn't look the best. He's fine. Should develop. We'll see how Sean Barker does as a rookie. Hopefully good enough for defensive rookie of the year, but I kind of have my doubts. Chris Calhoun, gonna be our number 3 receiver. I don't think he's gonna get that much production, but he's a good third. And then Willie Buchanan, I really wish he had hidden dev, but he's still good. 76 overall. He'll be I guess strong safety, and then I'll move Hooker to free safety. We'll have some big safeties. And then Jameson, he's fine, 72. Nelson a 75, and then also took Hurst. He's not great, but he had 77 speed, 81 excel. This wasn't all that good of a draft class though. There was a really good linebacker who went to the Falcons and a good running back, but not that much. Even Gills wasn't that good. There was a really good corner round 3. I guess I could have taken him, but wasn't really looking at a corner. We're fine at corner. So yeah, we did all right. We'll take it. Kind of an unlucky class for us, but we definitely still managed. But all right, here is a look at the team heading into year 2. It's up to an 80 overall at least. It's definitely not the best, but it's something. We really just need to develop, honestly. We kind of overperformed last year. We just have a lot of like lower 80 overalls with good dev traits that are young that should develop. I mean, we had somehow like the best offensive line of all time last year, even though it's like kind of whatever. JC Latham developed a lot too, but the defense is kind of the same as the offense. A few more like true proven great players, but a lot of question marks that could be really good. We just don't know. Also, I am gonna start Nelson this year. I thought, why not? See if he can somehow win Offensive Rookie of the Year, because we're not going to have a good run game anyways. We might as well try to develop Nelson. If he doesn't, oh well. Okay, he had 1.4 yards per carry through the preseason. Okay, maybe he won't be very good. Well, guess what? We're starting him anyways. We'll go 0-17 if we have to. Which, I mean, at this point, I would be fine having another tank year. Eventually, that would be bad, because like Jeffrey Simmons, some of these good players will start getting older, but like they'll probably be gone before we're good anyways, so whatever. But all right, let's get to the mid-season point. This is gonna be probably a similar year to last year, but I wouldn't be surprised if we overperform knowing Madden. We'll see what happens. But okay, we are 3-3 at the mid-season. We are slightly overperforming. I don't think we're the worst overall anymore, thankfully, which by the way, the Titans are tied as the lowest overall in my custom rosters at a 77. I think they're tied with like the Jets, Jags, and maybe Panthers, something like that. But it looks like we are a higher overall than the Saints here, and the Panthers, and the Patriots, and the Jags, and the Browns. We'll take that. We're making progress for sure. Unfortunately, we're coming off a 45-29 loss to the Colts, but it's to be expected. But okay, we have both of our running backs to re-sign. I'm not gonna bring either of them back. In real life, for sure, I would bring Tyjae Spears back, but not in Madden. But like DJ James, Josh Wiley, Will Levis, it's just a lot of mid this year. Xavier Woods, Kevin Zeitler, I just expect to retire, but we'll see. We'll already have the 5th year for JC Latham, so we'll pick that up once we can, but no re-signings, really. So not much to go over here. I do want to see, like, is there anything we could improve? I still don't know if we should tank or not. This O-line is ridiculously good for some reason. Cam Ward doing a lot better this year, and Gregory Nelson not doing as bad as I expected. His dev trait still isn't revealed somehow, but whatever. But all right, let's get to the end of the year, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. This year we go 4-13, but not last year. We go 4-13 once we not massively improve the team, but I mean, going from worst to like 8th worst is a decent step. Did I say 8th worst and not 8th worst? I don't know what I said. But okay, Cam Ward, 4,000 yards, it was fine, but sacked 35 times. Where did that come from? I mean, I feel like that's more fair than how the offensive line was doing, but I thought Cam Ward was sack proof, I'm not gonna lie. But Gregory Nelson, Nelson was ass, but to be fair, the other running backs would have been, like I've said 5 times now. Dev trait though, star. Okay, we'll find a new running back. Did develop up to an 81, but definitely not enough for offensive rookie of the year. I mean, he did have a lot of rushing touchdowns, so maybe, but probably not. But Noel, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 900 for Calhoun. Less than 900 for Williams, though. 775 for Okonkwo. Big, completely different numbers than last year. That's interesting. But okay, Dan Moore, this is more what I expected last year. Latham was also bad. Cushenberry was also bad, but the guards were amazing. Skronsky only 2 sacks, Zeitler 0. But Simpson 133 tackles, TFL's 19 for Simmons, but sacks 8 for Stewart. That's good. Barker only 5 as a top 5 pick. 3 for Simmons. Ugh. But 6 interceptions for Snead. 3 for Buchanan. Ooh, he had a really good rookie year. He's going to get number 2 for offensive rookie of the year. But 2 for Dolak and then 1 for 4 different players. Another very interesting year. JJ McCarthy wins MVP after being the worst team last year. Love the consistency. That's cool. But all right, Mahomes wins offensive player of the year. No Titans. Shocking, I know. Logan Wilson wins defensive player of the year. That's different. Was Zadarius Smith at number 2? Okay. But offensive rookie of the year does go to Gregory Nelson. All right. I mean, that could be good. That XP boost could make him actually play better, but will it make him play well? I don't know. Calhoun at 3, but Buchanan does win defensive rookie of the year. Barker at 2. That's nice. I wish he went to Barker because we invested more in him, but like, this makes sense. I know I say every simulation in Madden is weird, but this one was also weird. I did not expect to finish. I maybe expected to finish 4-13, but not in the way we did. But we had a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl. Where's the, like, Jags-Raiders? That's not a possible Super Bowl. Like, Jags-Panthers Super Bowls. I missed those. At least they're realistic, kind of. That's a lot of Eagles, but oh well. But all right, for re-signings, I guess we'll pick up the 5th year for Latham. I mean, he kind of sucked this year, but was good last year. That's fine. Spears and Pollard, I'm good. Everyone else... Kevin Zeitler, it looks like he did win Best O-Lineman. I wish Skronsky won it last year. That would have been so nice. But, I mean, obviously I'm going to bring Zeitler back. He somehow didn't retire, even though he's 37. I'll go 2 years. He'll probably retire, but we'll see if not. But all right, let's get into free agency. We might do stuff this year. It just depends on if there are good players or if it's kind of mid like last year. Okay, well, it's mid except for one player. Aiden Hutchinson is available. I feel like I get him so much in rebuilds. I want to switch it up, but I mean, if we can sign him, I'm not gonna not sign him. He's not interested though, that's the only thing. Oh god, he's gonna go to the Colts. Oh no. I mean, I'll go player friendly just to try to keep him from going to the Colts. I know that's not gonna work, but hopefully like the Giants or Commanders get him. But, like Baker Mayfield's here, we don't need him. Najee Harris, he is 29 though, but I know he usually does very well, pretty well in simulation. Nolan Smith, I think he's one of the worst players in simulation. Oh, he actually had 8.5 sacks. That is by far the most I've ever seen him get. But yeah, there just really isn't anyone I want other than kind of Aiden Hutchinson, and I don't think we can get him. We really don't have that many desperate needs on the team anymore. We just need some better free agents to become available. I feel like that's the story a lot of the time in rebuilds. So we'll see if we can somehow get Aiden Hutchinson. No, he goes to the Colts. I mean, nothing I can really do about that. That's scary. So despite going 4-13, we're just gonna sit out free agency, which is weird, but just not really anyone I wanted. Ooh, also, we got some dev traits. Chigo Okonkwo got superstar. For what? I don't know, it doesn't say, but that's cool. Of course, Kevin Zeitler got star, but Nelson got superstar, and Calhoun, I'm assuming, got superstar. Usually playmakers don't have good dev traits, although I guess he did. I wish I played him more last year then. I wonder if the Jameson Williams signing is kind of pointless then, because I guess we'll just use Nolan Calhoun. On defense though, Simpson got superstar, Stewart got superstar, Buchanan got superstar, McCreary got superstar, and Snead got X-Fact. Where did all these come from? Like, were they that... Oh, hit 90, really? Tackles for a corner can get them superstar dev. This game sucks. What are we doing? What do you mean? I'm guessing that's what it was. I don't know what else it would have been. Because I was gonna say, we didn't really have that many players do well. I mean, Snead makes sense. 6 interceptions. That's what should trigger a dev trait for a DB. Or like a ton of pass deflections. But all right, I'm feeling pretty good about the team now. I guess it's definitely good we sat out free agency knowing this now. Let's see what we can do in the draft. I don't know what we should draft. We just kind of gotta wait for a lot of these guys to develop, which is crazy because we have, I would assume, a top 5 pick. We'll see though. But okay, in the draft, I'm kind of disappointed by that. We pick at number 3. The Rams have the number 1. We've had some weird number 1 picks here, but I'm really disappointed by that. The player I want is Ben Starling. He's from Tennessee. We could keep him in Tennessee, but he's definitely gonna go before we pick. I didn't focus scout Sweet. Is he good? Oh, no. I can already tell. Doesn't look like, look at Starling's ratings compared to Sweet. And that's before we even see how athletic they are. I mean, maybe Sweet's more athletic, but no, he isn't. Okay, I might trade up. This is the rare time I'm considering it. It would be expensive. We would have to trade up to number 1, probably, but I'm thinking about it. This safety also looks really good. Wendell Rivers. Man, this looks like a pretty good draft class. James Watkins, pretty good looking safety. I saw a lot of receivers with A awareness. Oh my God. Not that we need a receiver, but yeah, this looks like a pretty good class. I'm surprised this guy's only a first round talent. I thought he would be a top 5. Like, look at his ratings, but it'd still be a good value. I don't think either of these guys look that good unless they have insane speed. They don't, huh? That's a horrible QB class though. All right, I saw the Rams signed Anthony Richardson. Not that they would go QB here, obviously, because there isn't one, but would they take the guy I want? Yeah, they only have Byron Young still. They really haven't added to their edge group at all unless they sign like a defensive end they're playing at edge, or you know what I mean, maybe. We would have to trade up to 1 if we want to get him. Hold up, who else is available? It's a receiver and a defensive end. I don't think they would do that. How expensive would it be? It's not interdivision or anything. It's not for a quarterback, so it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, we did just spend a top 5 pick on an edge rusher last year, but one that wasn't that good and he didn't do that well. But this dude looks like a legit 82 overall. I'm gonna trade up. All right, this is a trade I don't love, but it's what I thought was the best option. I'm gonna be given a 2, a 3, and a 3 next year, or a 2 and a 3 next year and a 3 this year. I traded next year's picks because, like I said, this looks like a very good class. So we get the number 1 overall pick here. If this guy's bad, I'm never playing this game again. No, I mean, we know he's good. Ben Starling, I'm not sure if he's quite an 82, but I mean, there's a chance. A finesse, A power, at least a B for everything other than coverage, obviously, but who cares? Elite speed, acceleration, and strength. I never trade up. Y'all probably know that if you've seen the channel. I just don't think it's ever worth it, but in this case, I do. Back-to-back years where we're spending a top 5 pick on an edge rusher, but I think this one's much better. We'll take him. Rank 2. Okay, we'll see. I really wish he was number 1, but I think I'm gonna trade up later in the draft. I'm just gonna do it now. I'm gonna trade. What would even be a fair trade? I want a 3rd round pick back. Okay, it looks like this would be about fair, at least according to the trade value calculator I use. We're gonna be trading 99, 129 for 87. Sure, I think I did that right. Did I do that right? I hope so. Yeah, it looks like it. But all right, round 2. Let's see what we want to do here. I know there were a lot of good looking players. Booth is projected to go exactly with the pick we have. I don't think we're gonna get him. He's definitely gonna go early. But all right, what should we do here? Is there anyone good left? Did everyone go first round? I mean, maybe. There's a good linebacker. That wouldn't be a bad choice. I mean, we definitely kind of need a number 2 linebacker. Good corner. Thornton looks pretty good, and maybe Calhoun? Another Calhoun? Ooh, both do look really good. They both look very similar. Some of these safeties look pretty good. Watkins. I wish he had slightly better pursuit, but he looks really good. How fast is he? I know we just drafted an edge rusher and a safety with our first 2 picks last year, right? Or no, it was a receiver then a safety, but 2 of our first 3 picks, I'm pretty sure. But I might go with Watkins. I really hope those A to C's are A's. I guess if they aren't though, he doesn't look that insane. Hold on, he's supposed to go 45. Poole isn't supposed to go until 114. All right, we'll go Watkins out of Georgia. I would guess 1st round talent. Not only that, but he is almost a top 5 talent, ranked 7. Don't know what we're gonna do with him this year. I mean, okay, wait, I have a plan. I'm not gonna say what that plan is yet, but you'll see. But all right, round 3, hopefully that running back's available, but I mean, it's not really. Like, Nelson won offensive rookie of the year. I don't know if he would do well, but I don't know if that guy we would draft would do well either. What else should we look for? Maybe like a future starter on the offensive line. I mean, we drafted Logan Brown. He could just replace Kevin Zeitler. We'll see. Oh, okay, actually this receiver looks pretty good. Not that we need a receiver, but slot receiver looks solid. We'll take him. Yeah, he's fine. I didn't really see a lineman, so sure. But okay, here is how we did in the draft. 82 was not a bad guess. Ben Starling is an 81. I definitely think it was worth trading up. We'll probably have to trade down next year to, you know, get a second round pick back, but that's fine. We got an actual good pass rusher. That's what we wanted. He'll be an immediate starter, obviously. You'd hope with the #1 pick, but very good pick there. And James Watkins, 80 overall. Should play as a rookie, should play possibly the most snaps on the team. We'll see. And then Gaffney's solid. I also took Gabriel Blake because he's a 5'11 defensive end, but he's not all that good. And then the CPU made some interesting picks. But yeah, this was a pretty solid class. There were 7 80+ overalls. I see who one of them was. Joseph Booth was an 80 overall. Not that he would have even started, so that's fine, but I figured he was pretty good. I was surprised he was only a first round talent. I guess I said that before I realized how good this class was. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, he is an 80. Oh well, there are lots of good running backs in Madden draft classes, which is fair. There are just lots of good running backs in real life. Also, this Quincy Evans guy, 83 overall at receiver. But yeah, we did very well. 280+ sounds good to me. But all right, here we are heading into year 3. We're looking pretty good now. Up to an 84. Usually improving the team in overall doesn't make it play better immediately, so we're probably gonna go 0-17 this year somehow, but let's hope not. It's still not an amazing team, but it should just continue to get better and better. I mean, by the time there are good free agents available, we might not even need them. We'll see though. We'll still definitely sign some players. The defense still could use a little bit of work, I guess. But I mean, I like what we're doing. We have a lot of superstars now. This could be a pretty good year for us. We'll have to see. Oh yeah, and the one change I made is I released Sebastian Joseph Day and I signed Jordan Birch. Saved a lot of money there. It's kind of a different style of D lineman, but oh well. He is more of a pure pass rusher, so we'll see if that adds anything. It looks like he's never played though. Not really. So that could be interesting. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention what I am gonna do with Watkins is I'm gonna play him as a sub linebacker, so should get a lot of snaps. We could even play Buchanan as the sub linebacker and Watkins as the safety for when Buchanan's at linebacker. Actually, that would be better. Buchanan's 222, so yeah, we'll do this instead. So Watkins will be our safety, but we'll play Buchanan as the linebacker this year. But I like how the team's looking, so let's get to the midseason point and we'll see how this team does. Can't wait to be 1-6. Okay, well, that wasn't a bad guess. We're 2-4. I guess one win better than I expected. I was mostly joking, but I know what happens in Madden. You just have forced down years in 2027. Now, usually in 2027, you bounce back in the second half of the year, so we'll see if that happens. Also, just gotta point this out. I see the Giants are 0-7. Their QB is Tyler Shuck. That's, yeah. I mean, he was good at Louisville, but like, the injuries scare me with him. The age is whatever. Like, I feel like age is kind of an overrated thing for quarterbacks, but the injuries, man, that scares me. He's only 73 overall here, though. Ooh, yeah, not going great. But yeah, speaking of not going great for us. I should check, where do we rank for overall at an 84? I should have checked at the start of the year. Surprisingly, we haven't gone up in overall, but it looks like we're about mid to below average, probably below average still. But I mean, I told y'all at the start of this isn't gonna be easy, and it definitely hasn't been. We haven't been better than 6 wins in a season so far. But all right, who are we gonna have to re-sign this year? We're probably not gonna re-sign too many players. Okay, maybe I take that back. Pretty much all of our players need contracts, and none of them are interested. Couldn't imagine why they're not interested. That's crazy. I'll go very player friendly for Simmons, 5 years, 154. He was worth it 1 year, not last year though, but he doesn't take it. Sneed, I don't know how he's gonna be for the Titans in his career because he looked kind of bad at the start of last year before he got hurt, but he's been very good for us here. I'll go very player friendly, 3 years, 41, which is very cheap. Cornerback contracts in Madden are so cheap, but I'll go 5 years, 135 for Tavondre Sweat. He doesn't take it. I mean, the one good thing we have with our team is the D-line, and we might lose 2 of them, or at least 1, but Peter Skoronsky, he's been insane so far. I'll go 4 years, 88. He takes it. That's good. Brownlee hasn't really developed that much, but I'll still go 3 years, 12. That's very cheap, and he doesn't take it. Birch, we'll see. Cushionberry, probably not. Everyone else is just depth, so... this has been even harder than I expected. Usually, when you have a bad roster in Madden, you overperform, but that has not happened here. So, let's get to the end of the year. I would be cool with another good draft pick, but at some point, I want to see good things from this team. We've seen flashes, but definitely not even close to put together for a full year. Okay, well, what did I say at the midseason? You usually bounce back in 2027, and we bounce back in a massive way. We end up going 10-7. We had the 7th best offense in the league for points per game, 12th on defense, not bad, we'll take it, which is realistic. We do have a better offense than defense. But Cam Ward, very, very good season. 4,500 yards, almost 46, 38 touchdowns, still a lot of picks, but I mean, that's fine. Hopefully he can get them down next year, but this year didn't really matter too much. But Gregory Nelson, not many attempts, but still 4.1 per carry, 800 yards, not great, but better yards per carry than I expected, and 17 rushing touchdowns. But 1,500 yards for Calhoun, 18 touchdowns, 1,000 for Knoll, 900 for Williams. Dan Moore still sucks. I wonder when we can get rid of him. That would save 14 mil if we cut him right now. Obviously, we would wait until after we're eliminated, but we'll see what it would save in the offseason. It might be even more. Oh yeah, and the rest of the line was very, very good. But Simpson, 110 tackles, TFLs 21 for Simmons led the team, and sacks 18 for Jeffrey Simmons, 8.5 for Stewart, 7.5 for Sweat, 7.5 for Starling. We'll take that. Will that be enough for defensive rookie of the year? Well, it doesn't matter. He has X factor. Okay. Yeah, that was absolutely easily worth the trade up. He also got a pick, not an insane rookie year by any means, but a good one. Even 4 sacks for Birch. That's cool. But picks, not many. 3 for Snead, 2 for Brownlee and McCreary, 1 for Starling as a rookie, and Buchanan. What did Watkins do? He really, yeah, I guess he didn't play much. I guess if I wanted to play it optimally, I guess I should have put him as the sub linebacker instead, even though he was worse there, but just to try to get him rookie of the year. Oh well. He only has star. Okay, maybe I should have, but oh well. If we're being realistic, Buchanan made more sense as the sub linebacker. That's my cope. But what? JJ McCarthy wins back-to-back MVPs. I'm always stunned by what happens in franchise. There's always some new interesting stuff every time. But Calhoun, number 2 for offensive player of the year. Hopefully that's enough for X factor. It should be getting 1,500 yards on the dot. We'll see. But we get, why? We get number 2 for both defense and offense for player of the year. Garrett wins it, Simmons at 2. All right, but offensive rookie of the year, would we have anyone up here? I don't think so. Maybe like 10, but no. 3 Dolphins to close out the list. That's weird. Thankfully, it doesn't go to a division rival, though. It almost did. But defensive rookie of the year, this we have a chance at winning. We could also get number 2 for 3 awards this year. I think we will. Not to be pessimistic, I'm just trying to be realistic. We get number 2. Okay. At least he already had X Factor, but the XP boost would have been nice. Why? Calhoun should still get X Factor, hopefully. That sucks, though. At least we made the playoffs. I don't know if we even deserve to be in the playoffs, to be fair, but now at an 86, we might. Yeah, I mean, it's close. There are teams that are better than us for sure, but we're better than some teams, a few teams, not many though. But we are better than who we are going to be facing in the wild card. It is going to be our division rival, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They had a very good defense. Well, good at least. They had the best run D in the league, but not that good of a pass D. Overall, we were better, it looks like. We had a better offense than they had defense. They had a worse offense than we had defense. So I guess this works in our favor. Our pass game should eat against that pass defense. I mean, we're coming off of 2 40-point games. 41-24 against the Colts, 42-3 against the Browns. Usually when you do well, you lose in week 18 in Madden. But all right, let's see. Can we beat the Jaguars? No. Go figure. But we still got at least 2 more chances here. We had a Bills-Panthers Super Bowl. Okay, now they're getting a little bit goofy. But I mean, who knows? The Panthers could be a good team by this point. By this point, it's hard to call any Super Bowl weird. You never know what'll happen. I mean, that's debatable. What's the Panthers overall? I think I saw them as one of the worst. They're an 84, and they were in the Super Bowl. The Bills usually aren't a good overall either. They're at least an 86 here, but so were we. I say it all the time, but this game is so cooked, man. Like, it just feels entirely random. Two of the lowest overall teams in the league were facing off in the Super Bowl. That's legitimately like, I don't know, the Jets versus... I mean, the Jets debatably even had a decent roster this past year. But I mean, they did get injured. It's like the Jets facing off against the Panthers in the Super Bowl this past year. It's stupid. It is. But all right, for re-signings, we still have 157 mil, but we just need to hope that we can get these players back. Cam Ward will pick up the 5th year. It's not cheap, 54 mil. I don't know how much his contract is going to be, because what's he ranked? He's ranked 16. He's a mid QB. Definitely didn't play like it this last year, though. Although maybe. A 108 passer rating for Madden isn't that crazy. For real life, that would be really good. But like, for Madden, this was a fine year, good year. But Jeffrey Simmons, Defensive Player of the Year runner-up. We'll go very player-friendly and a decent bit. We'll go 4 years, 138 for a 31-year-old player. And he does take it, thankfully. I almost wonder if we would have been better off just tagging him, but I didn't want to risk it because we can't tag 2 players. Let's see if we can get Tavondre Sweat back. 5 years, 168. He does take it. Okay, good. But Tyjae Spears, he is terrible in this game. Look at these numbers. Look at real life. Look at his numbers here. That's all I'm saying. But all right, I'll go player-friendly one more time for Brownlee. We'll see if he takes it. He does. Other than that, though, I mean, Birch was pretty good. 3 years, 34. Our money's slowly running out. I don't think I'm going to bring Cushenberry back, though. He's like, he was good 2 of the years, but not great 2 of the years. We'll just let him go. He's 30 and not interested. On pace for a bad year if he alternates between good and bad years. I'll re-sign Jason Greco, the superstar punter, sure. But all right, let's get into free agency and let's hope this is finally a good class, please. Okay, finally it is. And there are some pretty good running backs here. Not that running back was bad, not that we run the ball all that much, but I mean, Josh Jacobs, if you're not familiar with him in Madden, look at his numbers in Madden. 6.3 yards per carry, 5.4. Yeah, I think I'm gonna sign him. Also, Jalen Carter, we definitely don't need D-line though. Don't really need receiver. Could sign one though, but hold on, I want to see. Okay, Calhoun did get X Factor, now up to an 88. We definitely don't need a receiver. We do need at least 2 O-linemen now, maybe 3. Maybe Brown would do fine at guard, so maybe just 2. But man, like I also kind of said earlier, we've just developed enough to the point where we don't really need free agents now. I mean, we do. I'll still look for some players, but it's going to be a little bit harder to find upgrades. Also, Trenton Simpson. Do I need to raise my XP sliders for middle linebackers? He's had 2 really good seasons and has only developed up to an 80 with Superstar. I think I will raise him a little bit. That's kind of ridiculous. But Cooper DeJean is here. That would be kind of fun. Jaden Hicks. I mean, we obviously don't need a safety, but Cooper DeJean, I would go 5 years, 122. It's not cheap, but we'll see. Not interested, but you never know. Other than that, we don't really need to sign too many free agents. I don't like signing free agent linemen. They're almost always horrible for some reason. I'd rather just draft one. So yeah, we're doing a little bit here. I mean, I would say this is probably more than a little bit, getting 2 90+ overalls, just only a couple attempted signings. We'll go Josh Jacobs, Cooper DeJean. Let's see if we can get them both signed. I would guess we do get Jacobs, but not DeJean. Good call. We do get Josh Jacobs. DeJean goes to the Raiders. Same with Xavier Worthy. And Jaden Hicks. There's always one team in free agency each year that signs everybody. I guess it just happens to be the one team that has cap space because the CPU in Madden has 0 logic of how to manage the cap space for some reason. I always use the example of the Saints keeping Derek Carr instead of releasing him to save 50 mil, but I'm sure there are a lot of those situations here. Yeah, let's keep Christian Barmore for when we could release him for 20 mil in savings rather than just start Alfred Collins, who's like, what, 2 overall lower? 1 overall lower and 3 years younger and like 1/20th of the price. Yeah, let's keep Rasul Douglas at 83 years old down to a 78 overall instead of releasing him to save 12 mil. It looks like they tagged him because the numbers are equal. That's something. I guess it's kind of hypocritical because we're keeping Dan Moore, but I mean, to be fair, we had cap space and we don't really have a replacement for Dan Moore on the the roster, so I don't know. But all right, we pick at number... What team are we? We're the Titans. Where are we? Oh yeah, I forgot we made the playoffs. Am I stupid? I forgot what team we were, what happened. I don't know what just happened to me, but this might be crazy, but I think y'all saw him. I might be thinking about trading up again. Now, probably not, to be fair, because I doubt this guy's gonna last until 17, but if Ian Gallagher is still available by 17, we gotta trade up a little bit. If he's available by 15, probably. I mean, top 5 talent guard. I mean, it's guard, to be fair. It's a valuable position, but I think an undervalued position. I think it can be as valuable as tackle. I mean, there are lots of quarterbacks, or I don't know about lots, but I know there are some quarterbacks who have said it's harder to deal with interior pressure than edge pressure. Also, look at this receiver. Maybe we gotta trade up for him. Not that we need a receiver. Oh, he's slow. Okay, well, still looks insane. Probably an 84, maybe. But I mean, even if we miss out on Gallagher, like there aren't the best left guards, but there's Barrett, there's Spirit Center. There's some players for sure. We'll see. He's probably gonna go in the top 10, but if he does last until like 15, we gotta think about it. There goes Boyd at 9. I didn't realize he was still on the board. Oh, he's still there at 15. All right, man, I don't know if we can afford to trade up. We don't have a second. Nah, we can't. Because, I mean, what would we even trade up? Next year's picks? I mean, maybe. What if I do trade a second next year? Hold on. Nah, we can't do that. I forgot we don't have our second or third this year. We gotta trade back. But, like, do we? We don't really have too many more needs. We will, and that's, you know, the reason you need as many picks as possible. But... like, I don't know. What if we just take like 4 picks this year? Because, I mean, we really technically only need a center, which is kind of tough. We would have to move him to center, but could he play center? I mean, he's 342. That would probably be the biggest center of all time. I don't know. It's a weird situation, but I mean, he's a top 5 talent. How good does that one center look, actually? Pretty good. He has really bad finesse, though. Definitely not as good, but good. I would guess like a 76 or 7, but Gallagher is probably like an 81, 82. All right. How good's Barrett? Probably like a 78, maybe 79, I would guess, somewhere in that range. I would say he's probably a top 12 talent, but that's not a top 5. So we are gonna send a second next year to move up to 15. It's interdivision, but it is what it is. We'll get a 4th this year, and I think we're gonna trade both of our 4ths up for, I guess, a 3rd, something like that. Let's go get our guy, Ian Gallagher. Again, I never really trade up in drafts. I just really feel like it today. We'll get him. Hopefully he's good. He is the best player in the class. Pretty good call. Hidden dev, 94 strength. We'll take it. All right, I forgot to trade up, but that's probably fine. I realized it literally as I pressed the button, like almost before I pressed the button, but my thumb was already going down to press the simulate to next pick button, so that's fun. Elijah Banyard looks pretty good, but to be fair, every speed rusher defensive tackle looks a million times better than they actually are. Watch, he'll be the actual good one of all time. The only one to ever exist. But all right, I think we're done here, probably. I guess I can draft Stevens. He's a 2nd to 3rd round talent at guard. Sure. Oh, we have pick 420. That's hilarious, definitely. Brett Paulson looks pretty good. Y'all know I gotta take a blocking tight end. I haven't done that yet. Elite strength, at least solid speed. Sounds good. Ranked 94, but hidden dev. We'll see what that is. But all right, here's how we did in the draft. It was, you know, really just one pick, mostly. I mean, we made the most of the rest of the picks we had, but Ian Gallagher, he was an 84 overall at right guard. Unfortunately, went down to an 82 at center, but I mean, that's still an 82 at center before he's even played a snap. What's he ranked? Number 11. He's almost a top 10 center before he's even played a snap. Would that be the biggest center of all time? Hold on. I don't know. I tried to look it up. It just gave me a bunch of the heaviest players. We'll say one of the heaviest centers ever, probably. But Jaquan Stevens, he's a decent backup lineman. We could even start him if we really wanted to, because he has hidden dev, but we'll see. And then I took 2 blocking tight ends. Obviously, both have hidden. Probably X Factor. So yeah, really just one pick. Easily the best player in the class. He was an 84. The next best was an 81. So we did pretty well. Not that good of a class, though, but we did what we could. But all right, here is a look at the team heading into year 4, right? I always lose track of the years when we have a year 0 with the real-life draft class. The one thing I'm excited about after the draft is to not have to have the year 0 anymore. It confuses me. But year 4, the 2028 season, here is how the team is looking. Up to an 86, it's definitely not the best, but it could definitely easily outperform its overall. The only concerns I have with this team are left tackle, possibly right tackle. I feel fine about Logan Brown at right guard. It's right guard. It's fine. And then maybe our pass rush underperforms, but to be fair, based on overalls, it's kind of been underperforming. The next time it does well would be the first. I mean, Josiah Stewart's been pretty good, but I don't think we've had a single 10-sack season for anyone other than Jeffrey Simmons, who had 18 somehow. I mean, if he can repeat that, we'll see. Like, we had a good pass rush this year. I'm just more so talking our edge rushers. Like, they've been pretty good, but hopefully they can take a big step and get like 12 somewhere around there, at least one of them. Also, you never know in Madden. We just might have 4 interceptions this year. But other than that, I do feel really good about the team. Not that we're the best overall ever. We're one of the lowest still. Well, no, they're like 80. The Dolphins, 83. The Saints still in 83. So we're like mid, maybe slightly above average now. It's hard to say. I don't feel like counting all these out, but we're like mid, which is a big improvement for the Titans. But this should be another very good developmental year. And by the end of this season, we could be one of the higher overall teams. So hopefully we play like it. Let's get to the midseason point and let's see how we do. But okay, we are 5-2 at the midseason. We'll take it. Our first really good record at the midseason. Is this the first time with a winning record at the midseason? Were we 4-3 one year? I can't remember, but we're at least good this year. We have a linebacker breakout. Is this going to be an edge rusher or an actual linebacker? Okay, an edge rusher. 7+ tackles or 1 sack, interception, or forced fumble. That doesn't seem too bad. I feel like he could get a sack, 7 tackles though. What are the other goals? 7 tackles and 1 TFL. No, that's a lot more. 4 tackles for loss. Huh? Some of these are just insane. Like, what? 4? I'll take the 1 TFL and 7 tackles. Not gonna happen, but best chance. If this was for middle linebackers though, 7 tackles, 1 pick, that's not necessarily easy, but happens at least pretty often. 4 tackles for loss. What do you mean? Also, speaking of the defense and everything, we have the worst second worst pass D in the league. Didn't we have like the best at one point? What happened? I might change our defensive playbook. We're getting no pressure. 2 sacks for Starling, 2 sacks for Stewart. All right, it might be time. Not here, but at the end of the year, I think I'll change the defensive playbook. Has it really been good at any point in this rebuild? I don't think so. But all right, for re-signings, Jalen Knoll, do we want to pay 3 receivers? Not that, oh wait, maybe we do. Okay, Jamison Williams also needs a deal. Okay, I will pay Jalen Knoll then. JC Latham, how is he doing this year? Good. I'm not going to re-sign him yet though. I'll make him play well for the rest of the year before I extend him. Josiah Stewart, that's tough. Having a really terrible year, but has been pretty good the last 2. I'll go player friendly. I won't go very player friendly though. I'll go 5 years, 74. That's fine. And he doesn't take it. I mean, he's just not playing well enough to convince me. God, Logan Brown needs a deal. Lots of starters. Chigo Okonkwo, Dan Moore. How's he doing? Not great. Borderline bench worthy. You know what? Because of that, because he is due for a deal, I might bench him. We do have, what's his name? Stevens. Oh, we do have Skronsky. Actually, that might be the better plan. I mean, that's messing with 2 things. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't prefer to do that at least, but I do kind of like this. Stevens at guard, Skronsky at tackle. We'll see how that goes. I feel like I've tried Peter Skronsky at tackle in Madden before and it went horribly, but he's been so good here that I kind of like it. But all right, I don't know if there's anything else we can fix. Like, the reason our pass D is bad is because our like high 80 overall edge rushers have a combined 4 sacks through 7 games. We have 5 picks on the year. That's fine. That's pretty good. Is there a DB who's clearly struggling? I mean, yeah, the top 2, Watkins and Hooker, combined 2 pass deflections, no picks. How do I fix this? We'll just leave it and hope it gets better. That's really all we can do. But okay, here we are at the end of year 4, and if you've seen one of my videos before, y'all know why we're here. If you haven't already, before I show how we did, be sure to leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed so far. Again, it really helps out the channel. I would appreciate it. And be sure to subscribe if you've enjoyed, because, I mean, if you like this one, you'll like most of the others that I do. And again, let me know any fun ideas y'all have down below. Let me know what team that was bad last year you would want to see rebuilt with like a top 10 pick in this year's upcoming draft. Let me know the team and player you would want to see. Oh yeah, and question of the day. I was forgetting to do these for a while, but I've remembered on the last couple. Let me know down in the comments. It might be a little early to answer this because we haven't had the draft yet, but obviously Titans, worst record in the NFL last year. Let me know in the comments who you think will have the worst record in the NFL next year. I unfortunately might have to predict Titans again. That mostly the receiving core scares me. We've upgraded it here, but the O-line should be pretty good. That's the only thing that keeps me from thinking they'll be the worst, but again, let me know who you think down in the comments. But all right, we are now up to an 89 overall. We have a 91 offense, 87 defense. This is I should have predicted what our overall would have been, because I know I say this a lot, but I would have said 89, but I would assume that is one of the highest overalls now. And in year number 4, we ended up going 13-4. Oh, I like damn near choked on nothing. 13-4, and we got a first round bye. Thankfully, only 2 9-8 teams in the playoffs here. That's rare for Madden. No losing record teams. But Cam Ward, very, very good year. Easily his best so far. Close to 4,700 yards, 38 touchdowns, only 10 picks, 74 completion percentage. That probably wasn't even the highest in the league, knowing Madden. Nope, it was tied for 3rd. This game, man, like 77. That's a certified EA moment right there. But Josh Jacobs honestly was really underwhelming. It almost might have been better to just go with Gregory Nelson. He only had 3.8 yards per carry, but as the starter, probably would have broken some big ones. Man, we still might need a running back because Jacobs is gonna regress. We'll see. But Calhoun, almost the same stat line as last year, at least for yards. Barely over 1,500 yards. I say barely over like that's a bad thing, but over 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns, 950 for Noel, almost 850 for Williams. The blocking was obviously insane, as it has been. Nobody did bad at all. Everyone did great, except maybe Gallagher. He wasn't great, but he was fine, pretty good. But Buchanan, 130 tackles. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I moved him to full-time linebacker. I thought I might as well, because we didn't have the best overall actual linebackers on the roster, so I just put him there. TFL's 14 for Sweat, and Birch led the team in sacks. 16.5 for Simmons. Thankfully, we have him, because we didn't have anything else. 5.5 for Stewart, 5 for Starling. I don't know how we went 13-4 with this bad of a pass rush outside of Simmons. But 4 picks for Snead. I mean, he's regressing a lot, but he is still playing insanely well. He has 16 picks in the last 4 years. That's insane. But 2 for McCreary, Hooker, Brownlee, and Simpson. 1 for Buchanan. That's kind of weird. 4 players with 2, but only 1 with 1. Interesting. But MVP goes to Lamar. Michael Penix at 2. Ward at 6. We'll have to see if he can win one in the final season. Unless this is the final season, I mean, if we win a Super Bowl here, I'm fine going out that way. But Calhoun, 4 for Offensive Player of the Year this year. Jacobs at 9, Ward at 10. Defensive Player of the Year, go figure, Max Crosby. Simmons at 4. And then Paulson at 9 for Offensive Rookie of the Year, our number 2 tight end. And Defensive Rookie of the Year, would we have anyone at all? No. Did we only draft offensive players? I think we might have. Yeah, we drafted a couple linemen and a couple blocking tight ends. We drafted 4 blockers when blocking was the strongest part of our team. Definitely an interesting strategy, but whatever. We went 13-4, so who cares? But all right, this could be the final year if we do happen to win a Super Bowl here. I do want to check, what are we ranked in terms of overall? And should we change the defensive playbook here, or should we wait? We have a lot of tough decisions to make, but are we 2nd for overall? Yeah, just in 1 year, we go from mid to the 2nd highest overall, tied for it with the Bengals. The Chiefs are the highest. Shocker, I know. So finally, this roster got to where I wanted it to be. I wish it was the highest, but I've said how many times now, I knew this was going to be a hard one. But should I change the defensive playbook? I mean, we have to, right? It was 20th, 23rd pass D. It got slightly better, I think, throughout the second half of the year, but still not good. Where did we rank for sacks? How many did we have? Oh, we were 10th. What was the issue then? I still think I'm going to change it because I feel like this should have been even better than just 10th for sacks. Like, we put up really good numbers. We were tied for 5th for interceptions, tied for 2nd for either forced fumbles or fumble recoveries, whatever this is, but down there in terms of points. All right, am I gonna go Bills? Defensive playbooks are so inconsistent, but should I go Raiders? I feel like that would work better laid out as a 3-4. If we get blasted, I'll change it to Bills at the start of next year. But all right, let's see who we are gonna be taking on in the divisional. It is gonna be the team that is tied with us as the 2nd highest overall, the Cincinnati Bengals. It looks like they are slightly better. It gives them the nod for every rating. It gives them the green. They do have the slightly better defense, so I guess they're a slightly better roster. They only went 10-7 though. Again, go figure. Good team does bad in Madden Simulation. Where have I heard that before? But all right, can we win this game? Did we play the Bengals this year? Not that that really matters. Anything can happen, but I just want to see. I mostly just wanted to see our schedule. No, we didn't play them, but man, this is how you want to be. All of our losses were close losses. None more than 1 score. Now, to be fair, most of our wins were close wins. Not all of them, though, especially to close out the year. If our defense does improve, there were a lot of games where we put up 40 plus or close to it. So we'll see what happens here against the Bengals. Can we beat them? We do. 31-17. I don't know if we should have beat them that bad being that good of a roster, but we did have the better record. But now we are going to be taking on the highest overall team, also only 10-7, the Kansas City Chiefs. Who was the one seed this year? Was it the, oh, it was us. I'm stupid. Never mind. I was gonna say, how did a team do better than the Chiefs? We did. But they were only the 5 seed. The Chargers, Bills, and Ravens all had better records too, which is probably fair, maybe. But all right, I don't know if we're gonna win this game. It just shows the Bengals stats, so I don't know how good they actually were this year in terms of numbers. Let me see. I think this refreshes it. Yeah, it does. They were 5th for points per game, 12th for points per game allowed. So I guess if you average those out, they were slightly better than us, but we do have a new defense. So we'll just see what happens. Can we move on to the Super Bowl in what could be the final season? We do. We win 44-38 against the Chiefs. Our defense tried to lose it for us. Still doesn't seem like it's fixed, but to be fair, that was a very good team on paper. But we are gonna be taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? What is this, the early 2000s? Well, I guess both of these teams were good at the same time around like 2020-ish, but the Titans weren't in a Super Bowl around that time. They were the 1 seed one year, I think, but they didn't quite get here. Also, we got some good dev traits, I see. Cam Ward went up to X Factor. Of course, Paulson has Superstar, predicted that. Gallagher has Superstar. I would guess Vickers just has Star. Yeah. Buchanan went up to X Factor. I don't think we gained any others, but that's pretty good. We'll take at least 2 gains and 2 superstars from the draft. But all right, we'll jump in and watch this. We're the better team, to be fair. We have the better overall, better record, did better. They were the 21st offense for points per game, 17th defense, and they're in the Super Bowl. I love Madden. Nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, they maybe deserve to be here off of roster talent, I would guess. An 88 is probably the highest for the NFC, right? Or at least tied for it. Yeah. Oh yeah, and wait, who's their quarterback? I saw Baker in free agency one year. It is Gregory Colvin. They have Justin Fields as their backup, but he did pretty well this year. But all right, enough yapping. Let's get in. We'll watch this simulate, and let's hope we can win the Titans. I would only have to assume their first ever Super Bowl. I don't think they won one as the Oilers, so let's see if we can get there first. Oh, this is a home game for the Buccaneers. Man, this might be an uphill battle, even though we are the better team. Let's see what happens here in the Super Bowl. It looks like the Buccaneers do score first. We needed points there, but we come away empty. In the second quarter, the Buccaneers do make it 10-0. We do finally get a touchdown, and we're going to make it 14-10 in the third. The Buccaneers are driving. They do get a touchdown, but we take the lead back. So do they. There's a lot of scoring happening. We're now up 35-24, and just like that, we ran it up at the end. What was a close game does not look like a close game on paper. You just had to be there. The Tennessee Titans win their first ever Super Bowl with Cam Ward, going from one of the lowest overall teams I've ever had in a realistic rebuild to Super Bowl champions. I would call that a success.